G'day, my name's Brad Vanders with Offgrid Now. In this short video today, we'll be going through STC rebate eligibility for solar batteries. Now, the information today is coming from the 28th of July, 2026. I am on the Clean Energy Regulator website on the solar batteries page. If you want to find this yourself, simply Google CER STC battery rebate. And this result should come up at the top of the list. So in terms of eligibility, I'm going to be looking at general eligibility and breaking that down, and then also specifically off-grid battery eligibility, which is 90-odd% of what we do is off-grid. So we can do grid connected as well, but specifically we want to look at the off-grid eligibility. So scrolling down to eligibility, you'll see there that the very first line is that only one solar battery system is eligible for STCs per premises. Now, we really need to drill a bit deeper into this because this has been a bit poorly understood, particularly over the first year of the rebate scheme. When it says one solar battery system is eligible for STCs per premises, that is talking about a dwelling that has a battery. And if in an off-grid situation, there could be multiple dwellings on a property that also would qualify for STC rebates, as we'll see shortly. So to be eligible under the program, you need to have a new system. So it needs to be a new battery. It can't be previously installed or claimed. It must be a new system. So if you've had an off-grid battery sitting there for 5 years, you can't claim it for that battery. It needs to be a new system created within 12 months of the installation date. It must be installed with either a new or existing solar PV. So when the battery is installed, either there needs to be existing solar on the roof already, going back to an inverter, or it needs to be a new install. There needs to be between 5 and 100 kilowatt hours of nominal capacity. It needs to be installed in a single job. Okay, it can't all be done a bit here, bit there, bit here. It needs to be done in one single job. The battery must be included on the Clean Energy Council approved battery list, which you can view here. It must be compliant with Australian and New Zealand standards and state or territory electrical safety laws. So for Offgrid Now, all of our systems are installed by SAA accredited Sparkies. Technically capable of participating in a virtual power plant if grid connected or within 1 kilometre from grid for off-grid systems. Specifically for us, we use DAIA inverters. DAIA inverters are VPP capable. Virtual power plant capable means that it can be hooked up into the grid if need be, and can basically communicate back and forth with the grid in a virtual power plant. It needs to be installed by an SAA accredited installer with battery endorsement, and installed in accordance with SAA's technical requirements. So that's the general gist of eligibility for a solar battery. Now, specifically off-grid batteries, which we'll scroll down here. Now, you can read all this at the time of recording on the 28th of July, 2026. This is what's here. I'd encourage you, if you're watching this video, to double check this website because it has been updated frequently and it's not always understood when it's been updated. We often go back and, oh, there's some new information here. So it's good to double check so that you're across what's there. Okay, so to be eligible for STCs, an off-grid solar battery must be installed on a dwelling that is lived in, such as a remote farmhouse. This is important. You may claim additional STCs for additional off-grid solar batteries installed on other dwellings at the same location. This includes lived-in structures that are separate from the primary residence, such as a tiny home, granny flat, houseboat, or caravan. This part is important because it's been a bit ambiguous, the eligibility, particularly in our space around tiny homes and granny flats, because the idea was you could only claim one STC per premises. So we assumed that was one STC rebate per address. We now have clarification that multiple systems can be installed at one address if they're off-grid and if they meet the following criteria. So distance from the grid is not really, for us at Offgrid Now, we're not worried about that because our inverter is VPP capable, the DAIA inverter. So when you get into this, properties more than 1 kilometre from the grid don't need to be VPP capable. Properties less than 1 kilometre grid must either be VPP capable or have written evidence that the cost, you can read that. For us, for off-grid now, we have VPP capable inverters. You can have an off-grid system within a kilometre, more than a kilometre. It just has to have the capacity to be connected into a VPP capable network. All right, so additional off-grid solar batteries. So you can only claim STCs for 1 solar battery per off-grid dwelling. Each solar battery is subject to the relevant requirements under the regulations and must be separate from the main residence, other dwellings that have already claimed STCs for a solar battery. Okay, so the main dwelling can claim STCs. You have multiple off-grid dwellings in other parts of that property. Then if it's separate from the main residence, not adjacent to, it's like a separate building, it needs to be separate. It needs to have its own solar system. So that separate dwelling, that granny flat, that tiny home, etc., it needs to have its own solar for producing the power. It must be VPP capable, okay, in terms of the DAA inverters. For us, they're VPP capable depending on its distance from the grid. And it must remain installed until after the end of 2030 or the duration of the warranty period, whichever is later. So this part here, I'm not sure how that is determined, but the understanding we have is that if this is for the long term, we're expecting that this is going to be installed until after the end of 2030, then, or the duration of the warranty period, whichever is later. Most of our systems have a 10-year warranty, so the idea is that this is a long-term installation. Okay, so for these additional off-grid batteries, you must provide the usual documentation, okay, which the Sparky takes care of all of this, takes photos of it, uploads it all into a system to the Clean Energy Regulator. But they'll also need to show clear photos of the dwelling where the solar battery is installed, okay, and a map showing the locations of the dwelling. So for mobile dwellings, such as caravans and houseboats, the map should show the primary location that is parked or moored, the main residence or other dwelling where the first solar battery was installed, and any other dwellings that have claimed STCs for a solar battery, okay, and then the hull or vehicle number. So this is really important, particularly for our customers that want tiny homes or granny flats. So previously to this, if the main dwelling had purchased a solar and battery system and claimed the STC rebates, we're in this really grey area for tiny homes and granny flats. We weren't really too sure. Like the last version of this webpage, from memory, sort of spoke a little bit towards tiny homes and granny flats, but didn't make it this clear. So now it's very clear. We understand that we can claim STC rebates for batteries for off-grid systems if they meet this criteria and multiple for the same property. So I think, I hope this is helpful to you in terms of STC eligibility. It is a question we get a lot, and I'm hoping this video can help to answer those questions for you. If you have any other inquiries or would like to chat further, you can get in touch with us at inquiry@offgridnow.com.au. Or you can call us on 1300 141 255. Thank you.